Hello everybody, the following is a dramatic reading of the Three Visions of Zosimos by Zosimos of Panopolis, one of the earliest known alchemists who we have clear records of, who lived in the 300s. If you want to learn more about Zosimos of Panopolis or ancient alchemy in general, your go-to place must be the Esoterica channel on YouTube. The link is below in the video description, and I am not gonna draw this out, so let's go with the dramatic reading. By the way, this version was translated by Andrew Barrett, a Detroit-based musician and an overall eccentric and really smart person, so thanks to him as well. Okay, cue the music. All right, let's go. The first vision. The composition of the waters, the dance, the growth, the flowering and decay of the corporeal, the separation and the conjunction of spirit and body. These are not the result of discrete natures, but of a single nature acting upon itself. A uniform quality, such as the solidity of metals, or the moisture of the plants. Within the single system of many colors, the quest, shimmering and myriad, is preserved. In accord with time's measured rhythm, it synchronizes with the waxing and the waning of the moon, as nature flows through itself in cycles of contraction and expansion. After I uttered these words, I fell into a trance, and saw before me a sacrificial hierophant, perched atop a broad, bowl-shaped altar. A ladder of 15 steps climbed to its top. The hierophant arose, and a voice from above addressed me. I have accomplished the descent of the 15 steps of night, and have ascended the 15 steps of illumination. The one who sacrifices me also revives me through casting aside the heavy sediment of my body. And since by the will of necessity I am an initiated hierophant, I become spirit. I listened to the words of the one atop the bowl-shaped altar, and then asked him who he was. He answered in a quavering voice, I am Ion, hierophant of the innermost sanctuary, and I have endured unbearable violence. At dawn I was overtaken and dismembered by one wielding a sword. He chopped me apart according to strictures of harmony. He gripped his blade, he scalped me, and gathered together my bones and flesh. Then he burned them in the numinous fire, until I learned to become spirit through transformation of the body. Oh my God. I compelled him, and after he spoke these words, his eyes turned to blood, and he vomited up all his flesh. I saw him as a deformed, tiny homunculus, gnashing at himself with his own teeth while his body disintegrated. Oh my God. I awoke in terror and wondered if this was the composition of the waters. I thought I had understood it well and fell back into a trance. I saw the same bowl-shaped altar filled with boiling water. Around this, there were many people, infinite in number, and also within it. But there was no one outside of the altar that I could question. I moved in closer for a better look at this sight and noticed an aged, homunculus barber who questioned me about what I saw. I said that I was astounded by the boiling water and the people in it who were cooking and yet still alive. The barber answered, "This here is where the act of preservation takes place. Those who hope to master the art arrive here and through shedding of their bodies become spirit." So I asked the barber guy, "Are you a spirit?" And he answered, "I am a spirit and the guardian of spirits." That's how this motherfucker rolled. As we spoke, the water continued to boil and the people in it screamed. I saw a man made of copper who held a lead tablet in his hand. He stared at the tablet and proclaimed, "I command all those who suffer to be calm and take up a tablet and write with their own hands. Turn your face to the sky and keep your mouth open until your uvula is swollen." The act followed the word, and the Lord of the house said to me, "Here, there you go, you have seen. Craning your neck upwards, you have seen what is accomplished, haven't you? This man of copper is the sacrificial hierophant and the sacred offering. It is he who vomited his own flesh. The power over this water and those who suffer was given to him." Oh my God. After experiencing this vision, I woke up again and I asked myself, how do I interpret this shit? Is this the white and yellow water? Boiling and divine? Allah Allah. I found that I understood it correctly. And I said that it was beautiful to speak and lovely to hear, beautiful to give and beautiful to receive, lovely to be rich and happy to be poor. How does nature learn to give and receive? The man of copper gives and the water stone takes it. Metals give and plants receive. The stars give and the flowers receive. The sky gives and the earth receives. Thunder yields flashing fire. All things are interwoven and they unravel. All things mingle and fuse. All things mingle and disperse. All things moisten and dry. All things flower and bloom in the bowl-shaped altar. For each, the conjunction and the separation of all occurs through method, measure, and the weight of the four elements. There is no chain of being without this method, you understand? Inhalation and exhalation are the methods of nature. The order of the method is preserved through expansion and contraction. Simply, when all things unite and separate in harmony, and no part of the method is neglected, then nature is transformed. Nature rotates and cycles back upon itself. This is the chain of being and the nature of the art for the entire cosmos, my friend. Dear friend, so I don't have to write to you about so many things from a single stone that is like Saturnian lead, like alabaster, like the marble of Proconnesos. Please, my friend, build a temple without beginning or end. Build for me, build an infinite monolith. Inside the temple, let there be a spring of pure water that glitters with the brightness of the sun. Take your sword in your hand after you discover where the entrance of the temple is located. There will be a narrow passage nearby, and the entrance will be guarded by a serpent. Seize the serpent, sacrifice him, kill him, flay him, and place his bones and his organs into piles. Then, before the temple's door, fuse his bones to his flesh. Construct steps out of his dead body parts and enter. You will find what you have been searching for, the Hierophant, the man of copper, who sits in the spring gathering his substance. But do not think of him as the man of copper. He has transformed the color of his nature and has now become a man of silver. And if you wish, you will suddenly have a man of gold. The second vision. Again, I wanted to climb the 7 steps and observe the 7 punishments. And as chance would have it, I was only able to manage the journey on a particular day. I made the ascent many times and retraced my steps many times. Then, on my return, I lost my way and was trapped. I became sick at heart and fell again into a trance. In my trance, I saw a homunculus, a barber draped in purple robes and royal garments, standing outside the Hall of Suffering. And there he said to me, "Man, what are you doing?" I replied, "I stand here because I lost my way and I don't know what to do." And he said, "All right, not again, follow me." And I followed him, clap, 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 clap. And when I drew near the Hall of Suffering, I watched as the homunculus barber was tossed into the hole. His entire body was consumed by flames. When I saw this, I turned away, trembling in fear. And then, I awoke and said to myself, what is this vision? Allah Allah. Again, I turned it through and decided that the homunculus barber motherfucker was the man of copper and clad in purple. I said, I see it now. I have understood it well. This really is the man of copper. He must first enter the Hall of Suffering. My very soul longed to mount the 3rd step, and again I made the journey and lost my way near the Hall of Suffering. I stopped, disoriented and in despair. Once more I saw a man whose hair was so white that it blinded the eyes. His name was Agato Damien. This man of white turned and looked upon me for an entire hour. I implored him to show me the proper way, the path of least resistance. Yet he did not approach me, but swiftly went upon the correct route. Running here and there, he frantically made his way to the altar. When I reached the top of the altar, I witnessed the man of white enter the Hall of Suffering. Oh, demiurges of star-shut nature! In an instant, his body turned to blazing fire. What a chilling image, my brothers! The intensity of the suffering caused his eyes to turn blood red. I asked the white man, "Why are you lying there?" Barely opening his mouth, the white man told me, "I am the man of lead, and I submit to unbearable violence." Oh my God! I awoke in terrible fear and searched within me for an explanation of this vision. I thought to myself, Allah, what the fuck? And I said to myself finally, all right, now I get it. I understand it rightly. The lead must be cast out. Truly, this vision concerns the composition of the waters. The third vision. Once more I saw the divine and sacred altar in the shape of a bowl. I also saw a hierophant clad in white who was performing the dread and numinous mysteries. I said to the white hierophant, "Who are you?" And he replied, "I am the hierophant of the innermost sanctuary. I wish to replenish the bodies with blood, illuminate the eyes, and raise the dead themselves." Upon hearing this, I fell down again and went into a brief trance. As soon as I reached the fourth step, I saw someone coming from the east with a sword in his hand. He was followed by another person carrying a radiant white revolving sphere. Lovely to see. And this sphere was known as the meridian of the sun. As they approached the hall of suffering, the one brandishing the sword spoke to me. "Cut off his head and make a sacrifice of his muscles and his flesh in discrete portions so that his body may be boiled according to the method and he may experience the horrors of suffering." Oh my God! I woke up, opened my eyes and said, "There you go. I get it now. I get it all. I understand it perfectly. These things concern the waters of alchemy." And again, the man holding the sword said, "You have now completed the descent of the 7 steps." The other man holding the globe said, "The work is now accomplished in synchronicity with the expulsion of lead through all waters. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations." Well, there you go, everybody. That was the 3 visions of Zosimos. There's a lot of weird, funny, and interesting things I could say about this work, but, out of respect for history and out of respect for scholars who actually study this stuff and deal with it for their whole lives, I'll just say that this whole thing was an allegory of a certain alchemical process. In the past, alchemists, for various reasons, did not record their recipes directly, but kind of encoded them as messages or allegories like this. And the whole deep history of alchemy is far more vast and detailed than I, as a surface level eccentric, can tell you. But if you enjoyed this dramatic reading, once again, the place to visit on YouTube is the Esoterica channel, and the link is in the video description and in the pinned comment. Also, in the pinned comment and the video description, you will find links to my Patreon and my merch store. Please consider donating to me. Even $1 a month really makes a difference. I'm really serious. So that is that, everybody. This was a really weird and dark and strange text. And I wonder, upon reading this, if some of the weird, gratuitous violence we see in schlock horror films like the Saw series, I wonder if any of that corresponds to these visions of Zosimos. One thing I can tell from my knowledge of local history that they mention this place with an endless temple and a snake next to the door, and that thing uncannily looks like one of the temples of the Yazidi religion in what is now Iraq, and it is a town called Lalesh. And if you visit there, the temple there actually has a metal snake next to the doorway. So it's really strange how these things kind of sync up in history and literature and so on. I hope you enjoyed this. This has been CM Kosemen, a short but welcome podcast. And as always, I love you all. Goodbye.